The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
Hello, welcome to the Alldus podcast. My name is Mark Kelly, Chief Customer Officer at Alldus. As part of our AI in Action series, I'm delighted to welcome Theo Petropoulos, Director of Data Science at Abacus.ai. Abacus.ai recently been recognized with Forbes Top AI 50. Theo, great to have you on the show, and I hear it's pretty warm where you are in Greece.
Thank you for having me, Mark. I'm very excited to be here. Yes, it's very warm, so I think all Greeks right now are waiting for the afternoon, weather.
Yeah, well, it's a good complaint to be having. As in Ireland, we don't really have that complaint too often. But in saying that, when it does get a little bit warm in Ireland, I'm the first person to complain. So you have to be careful what you wish for. Theo, tell us a little bit your journey to now and the work that you do as a data scientist, because you didn't necessarily come from the most straightforward background to get into the world of data science.
Yeah, so Mark, you nailed you nailed it. Like I don't have a very common background when it comes to data science, even though data science does host people of different backgrounds, and you have physicists joining data science, you have software engineers, you have mathematicians. I am a soft outlier, I would say, because I didn't actually study mathematics or computer science. My first degree was in business administration. And I think I probably took one too many quantitative modeling courses. So analytics just stuck with me through my master's degree and my PhD studies, and hence how I became a full-fledged data scientist. And just to add here, like I think one of the reasons like I chose this is because I am a firm believer that we need to to leave the world a better place than what we found it. And data science, I believe, gives you those meaningful moments where your work has tangible outcomes, and you can see them, and the business can actually feel them.
Tell us a little bit about the work that you do at Abacus and your role that you do there. And for people who don't know what Abacus does, it'd be great to give us a little bit of an overview about that.
Yes. So if I had to describe my role in a few words, I would say that I am, a slave to our customers and prospects. So my job is to make our customers successful. So what Abacus.ai is, so as a company, right, it was founded in 2019 from a very prestigious group of people, all coming from Amazon and Google. And those people have built solutions for those companies that are still around and kicking. And also like Abacus.ai raised another $50 million in its third investment round like 6 months ago. And as a product, as a platform, Abacus offers an end-to-end artificial intelligence solution that allows you to create and deploy machine learning models in real time, either on our cloud, which is the preferable solution for most of our customers, or on your own cloud, basically. So it's a platform for data scientists to collaborate, build models fast, or for non-data scientists, basically, to work there.
Tell us about some of the problems and challenges that you work on to help solve.
Yeah. So I think I can give you a very specific example. So for example, demand forecasting is something very, very common our customers come to us with. And it's one of those use cases where you have very easily tangible results. So we have a customer right now who is predicting over 1 million unique SKUs, over 1 million products. What is the demand going to be for the next 4 weeks, basically. So bringing in a model from Abacus.ai that can decrease the error rate of those of the current models that are in place, even by 5 or 10%, you can understand how much the logistics is going to improve for this customer, right? Both because there's not going to be any unmet demand, And also we won't overpredict, meaning higher costs of keeping products on the shelves.
So Tia, why would this problem be very, very important to solve in terms of the pain points that users have to go through day to day and being able to provide that solution?
Yeah. So I think there's multiple problems that come here. Okay, and let me start explaining them all. So the first thing is that time series is not your standard data science problem. This means that you don't find so many data scientists that can actually tackle time series use cases or demand forecasting use cases. So one of the problems that the platform solves basically is that even if you don't have the current talent pool, right, or if you don't have enough people right now to handle those sorts of use cases, you can actually do it because the platform will do most of the work automatically for you. Now, when it comes to the another problem that comes up, right, is how do you actually put this in production? How do you productionalize this? How do you check your model for drift, or if your data is drifting? How do you handle the monitoring of your solution when it's put in production? And Abacus also handles that. And the third problem is that not all of the companies and not all of the verticals have a data science team. So planners are not data scientists, and they don't have like AI solutions running in production, but they still want those solutions because they will just get a better outcome. So what Abacus is giving them is basically a tool that even people with no data science background can use to make those predictions in real time and provide the insights the business needs.
So you're really kind of enabling that citizen data scientist.
Exactly, and I think, Mark, that's going to be a very big thing. Like everybody talks about it. I think, like generally speaking, we are still early on this, but this is something that is going to be needed. It's very hard right now to find enough data scientists for the data science projects that exist out there, which means that companies will have to find ways to create those, let's call them data science products, right, without data scientists. And that's why you see American companies hiring in Europe or in Asia to fill in those empty spaces, right, of resources they need. And so the platform helps there because it doesn't take a data scientist to actually use it.
So tell us a little bit about some of the projects that you and your team are working on, and how do you define the priority levels of the projects you have day to day?
Yes, yes. So if I could just name them right, I would say that currently the big projects that are running, like demand forecasting, is something I already mentioned, but personalization is very big. Propensity scoring is also very big. Customer lifetime value is also something very big. So all of these are use cases that we see our customers coming back to us with. Okay, so these are use cases that are happening all the time. So how do you prioritize? I think the most important question here that you need to ask is what the value of this use case is going to be against the effort. Because you might have a use case that can be very, very valuable, but if it will take you, 6 months to actually put it in production, that is problematic. Another thing that I think that most of the data scientists, especially when they are in the client-facing part, start realizing is that it's important with who you are talking to and how easy it would be for this use case to be put in production. But I'm not talking on a technical level. I'm talking on actually using the model in production. So I think that you start having this intuition where you can realize, right, instinctively, whether this use case is good enough uh, based on the fact of whether the customer is going to actually use this use case. And I think that's also very important, Mark. So when we are prioritizing use cases, we check the feasibility also from the business adopting these results.
And that's crucial because there's nothing worse than working on a problem perfectly well and the business doesn't value it. because the morale is impacted. You're working on things that aren't impactful, and you lose credibility within the organization. So that does nobody any good, because that has a lot of long-term effects to everybody. So picking that problem that actually really moves the dial or the needle with people who are, time sensitive and non-technical is very, very important. So it's a real value add across the organization that can be seen across either efficiencies or bottom line return on investment, or improving the customer journey to some level as well. Can you tell us maybe some examples, or share some examples that come to mind of how you've helped companies?
Yes, certainly. So let's talk about propensity scoring also in more details. Okay, so for potentially for the non-data science savvy users, right? So propensity scoring is when we try to find out which customers are the most probable to buy your product. So basically, taking on in those leads that sometimes they come from Salesforce, and being able to take the Salesforce leads, run them through the machine learning algorithm, and get back to what is actually the most the most important leads. Which one should you prioritize? Because you always have a limited team when it comes to reaching out to those customers. So we have actually a very big propensity scoring model running right now with one of our biggest customers. So the way it works is exactly as I mentioned, right? So the Salesforce leads come in, we score them, and these leads then get converted into real tangible opportunities with real value coming back. And I think that's very important, because when you have those tangible results, you can actually see that you can actually see what is the value that the platform is producing. And just to add on what you asked, Mark, like how are you helping customers? I want to also move away from the specific use cases, like how do we help as a platform, right? And we have other customers who are using us mostly as a data science accelerator. Okay, so how do they use us, okay, to accelerate the way they do data science today? And we have multiple, let's say, built-in tools for that. Okay, for example, if you have advanced data scientists who want to bring in their own models and just use Abacus as a serving platform, they can do that. Or they want to do pre-processing in the Abacus platform using Python, using SQL, they can also do that. Another way is that we have our own, we have Jupyter Notebook embedded within our platform, so they can also use our platform for exploration purposes. So what this creates at the end of the day, right, is one product that can handle all of the needs of the data scientists. And the feedback I get from these people is that basically, their work becomes far faster. Okay, you can't automate everything. Okay, like we are not yet in a place, like no platform is, where we can automate 100%, for example, all of the data pre-processing, the target encoding that needs to happen, etc. But whatever can be automated, we do that. And so the second way we help our customers, just to finish on that, is that we accelerate how fast they can deliver data science use cases. This means that even if you have a small team of data scientists who are potentially serving the whole organization, they can serve more internal customers just by having Abacus as a platform.
Which is a benefit everybody can see straight away. Where's the future of the company going to? What type of problems are you looking to continue to solve?
Yes. So it's a very interesting question, Mark. I can't talk about the company's future 5 years down the line. Maybe if you ask Bintu Reddy, our CEO, she would tell you that our goal would be to be the most dominant data science platform, right? But I can give you my idea of how I think the future looks like as a person just working day to day and looking at the awesome work the team is doing. I think that the next 6 to 12 months, the platform will keep adding those capabilities that our customer most need. So we are very, very customer focused and customer centric. This means that a lot of our requirements come from customers, and we go through a sanity check, right? Of course, like, does this make sense to put it in the platform? And then we implement this. So in the next 6-12 months, we are going to be able to handle most, if not all, of the box cases that exist out there. Meaning that it's going to be very hard to find a use case, a data science use case, where Abacus is not applicable. From a business perspective, we are heavily invested right now in the US market. We have multiple Forbes 500 customers, but I believe that 2023 is also going to be a year where we start expanding basically into the EU market and globally.
Very, very exciting times, Theo. And I can see how your company is going to grow and grow and grow, because the problems you're facing and you're taking them hands-on because you know they're challenging, but then the bottom line is being positive results for the end users as well. And I can see how so many data scientists would want to have those models in their hands, but then also the people who don't have the skills of data science but will have the interest, they'll be able to actually go on the journey as well, kind of including so many other different types of people, which is a great thing to be part of. You've been listening to the Alldus podcast as part of our AI in Action series. I'm delighted to have interviewed Theo Petropoulos, Director of Data Science at Abacus.ai. Abacus.ai have recently been recognized within Forbes Top AI 50. Theo, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Mark. It was my pleasure.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.